I just discovered this controller movement tip and it's totally changed the way I play Warzone. In Call of Duty today, there's so much fake news out there about what's actually important for movement. We live in this TikTok, YY, stim shot generation, but none of this stuff actually helps us with movement in the game. But the best Warzone players in the world are able to win gunfights in sticky situations because they know how to use movement to their advantage. Recently, I've been doing a deep dive into movement and deciphering all the noise out there to understand what mechanics mean the most. And I found the core three. So one is going to be slide canceling, which is your tactical sprint into your slide. So if you have auto sprint on, there we go, you hit the B button and you get your slide. Everyone knows that that's part of the movement. So running and then sliding. So mastering that is key. That's one of the basic foundations. You don't need any other of this stuff. Number two is strafing, left and right movement, especially in gunfights. So if this is my enemy right here and I'm aiming, I can slide and move left and right to get my rotational aim assist. That activates rotational aim assist. So you have powerful components here. You have the slide cancel and then you have rotational aim assist or strafing. Those are movements, left and rights. You can do the little circles when you're aiming to activate it, but I do the left and right so much easier. So we knock those out, right? So we have slide canceling and we have strafing. Those are the two basic movements. But the third tip came up a few weeks ago when I did my coaching session with the world famous Cupa Joe. He gave me a tip that seemed pretty simple, but I just totally wasn't doing it. Let's see what Cupa Joe said about this tip.
You ultimately win this gunfight, but technically speaking, he's probably hitting your head, and because he jumped, you're hitting his legs.
Gotcha.
Throwing in a jump every once in a while is probably a good thing, like right here, because technically you'd kind of slide up a little bit versus just relying on that strafing. But at the end of the day, we win that gunfight. And this goes back to like must-use movements. Slide canceling and strafing are the two most important things.
So what Cupa Joe said there about jumping is going to be key, because I wasn't even thinking about how that was happening. I was just doing my normal gameplay and him telling me, hey, he's jumping, he's shooting you in the head and you're shooting the feet. I wasn't even thinking about that. So when you're in a game, you want to be doing jumping. So let me find the bot in here. I put a couple bots in this basic private match and I'll show you what it looks like. So if you're taking on a gunfight, because the headshot is going to be a key here for most weapons. But when you're fighting like this and you're doing, you can jump up like that and it spreads it up to the top right there. So you can see I hit chest and head instead of hitting feet. Well, he's hitting my feet as I'm jumping up. Something as jumping is going to win you more gunfights. And let me show you a couple more reasons why. Now back into our gunsmith, you want to go ahead and click your right trigger and bring up the details. So let's take a look at the damage distribution here for most guns. Now this is the Krig C. I want you to notice something here. You see the numbers associated with the body parts. Those are the points you get for shooting those body parts. Normally, leg, chest, and head are going to be different nominations. Look at this one, for example. 51 is to the head, 39 neck, 38 body. So in that Cupa Joe instance where he's telling me about that and that person is jumping, I'm only getting 38 to the leg instead of 51 to the head. So you want to, when you're building your loadouts, look at those nominations and understand where the damage distribution is. That's the Krig C. Look at the LC10. Same kind of idea. If I'm shooting the leg, 33. If I'm shooting the chest, 39. If I'm shooting the head, 44. The goal is obviously to get up to 300 damage because that means that enemy is down and out. So just know that when you're building your loadout, damage distribution is going to be that way. And when you lose a gunfight against somebody and you're like, what? He jumped and all this other stuff. They jumped to get the head and the neck and the chest. Even building your loadout can be different around this. So if you go to barrel, you can actually get a couple different barrels here. One is you're going to see on the short barrel, jumping aim down sight speed and jumping sprint to fire speed. It's actually in there, and jumping up and down, you're getting a faster ADS and sprint to fire than you normally would. Then if you go to CHF barrel, you get an increased neck multiplier. So look at that. It gives you a 13% neck multiplier. So if you are good at jumping, you could run the CHF barrel on your SMG and you're hitting chest, neck, and head. You're going to get more points. You're going to kill faster. So you could build your loadout for this movement as well. We are back in a private match and I wanted to show you an up close view because what we want to do is want to aim for the chest and the head. We want a jump because look at that movement. We get that jump right on the neck and the head. This whole zone is going to be a very good zone to get all your points when you're killing. So like watch, let me demonstrate. We'll do leg first. 1 bullet. Oh, that's 2, 3, 4. So 4. We are in multiplayer, so it is a little bit different because he doesn't have plates on. Okay, so we saw from a leg. Now look at the head. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to get a 1 point difference in multiplayer. You're going to get more of it in Warzone because they're wearing plates and everything else like that. But you can see headshots, just like I talked about earlier, when you're making your loadout, you're making your gun, you can see that the jumping movement and getting chest and head is going to be really valuable. So the core 3, like we talked about, so slide canceling is 1, strafing, going left and right during the gunfight, activating rotational aim assist. But that key is the jumping piece that, like we heard from Cupa Joe, you don't want to be shooting legs. We want chest and head. So adding that jump piece has really changed the way I take gunfights and has won me a ton more gunfights. So adding that little jump piece, but practicing is going to do very well for you, especially if you're trying to get working on your centering. If you add that jump piece and you're aiming low, it's going to aim it back in here and you're going to do very well. And hey guys, if you want to continue learning more from me in Warzone, take 10 minutes, watch this video where I give you 100 tips in under 10 minutes flat that'll make you better at every aspect of Warzone. And if you have the time, hit the like button, hit subscribe, turn notifications on, and if you're looking to join up, our Discord is now open. It's free to join and you can squad up with other birds in our Discord. I'll put the link for it in the description below the video. And hey guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.